the defrauding aspect of it.
How are they being defrauded?
Well, you got silence of protocol, and then you got wave law.
Wave law?
Wave law.
Which is?
Wave law is a decision that SMAC holds. It's a view that SMAC holds, where no battler who's up and coming in the URL, who is under contract, is to be given any of the elements needed to become a crossover talent. There's somebody that's close to him who's supposed to be doing this.
Yeah, you wasn't in the pit with him when he was coming up and making this shit happen.
This is ambassadorship. When I laid down my career and said I'm not battling no more, so I can talk to this, it's for reasons like this. Vets can't talk like this to SMAC about situations like this without potentially ruining their chances of going back.
I mean, even myself in the position I'm at as media, I still have to deal with how people like us, you speaking on this, and how they're going to feel about us having this conversation and us putting it out and their image and how they, you know what I'm saying, how it can manipulate. When it's like, dog, this is my position. This is what I have to do. Whether, you know, it's going to be good outcome or bad outcome for me. This is the conversation for the people.
What happened with that battle with Free? The pays you to sit, you off for sale. Wasn't Remy wearing free cash shirts while you was in jail? Had the nerve to disrespect her too, this was an L.
So basically we're putting a cap on how big any of these guys could be? So you think it's a Flair Soul, authentic, like these guys have a cap on how big they can really be?
Wave law says that they can't be given the elements needed to potentially become crossover level talent. What are those elements? This is a culture. So let's talk about cultivation terms, and agricultural terms, okay? For the hustlers. You got people who know how to package and market the product of a commodity. You say a commodity, any commodity. You look at the commodity business. There are people who know how to package and market, and people who know how to farm, grow, and nurture the thing that makes the commodity itself.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? When battle rap started, people knew how to grow and nurture because they had to learn on the spot, which is why when URL first started, everything started to click. Boom, 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 boom. Classic over here, classic over here. It was organic. But now, when big business gets involved, they say, well, you know what? Maybe we don't need to grow it the way that we used to. Maybe we need to throw some GMOs in the mix, pesticides in the mix, because if we throw this in here, we can increase our money. Forget about what it does to the people who consume it. Forget about the people who are going to be damaged in the process of having to implement these new things. Forget about them. As long as we get our return, it's just business. So wave law keeps the artist from potentially becoming a crossover level talent. Why is that such a bad thing? Like why would they want to stop that? Why would SMAC want to stop someone from becoming crossover level talent? You know, listening to K-Shine got real close. He got so close, I was like, oh, maybe I don't have to say nothing. He got real close. Pusha T said, when the CEO's blinded by the glow, it's different. When a culture starts to grow, people start to get recognized, right? SMAC in his position is a promoter. He's the face, he's an owner, yes, all that. But essentially, when it comes to the artist, he is a promoter. When the artist starts to get bigger than the brand, and the artist starts to get noticed by larger cultures, sometimes the person who's the owner gets lost in translation. Sometimes the artist can get so big that they can make statements that could be deemed as a slight. Like, this is my house. I run things here. Now, if you own your business, if somebody's not paying the bills and doing things, but they're going around saying that they run hip hop is real, it's like, wait a minute, no, you do not.
Yeah.
Right? But you wouldn't start to have a vendetta against the person. You would just set them straight. Look, this is how things go. Maybe you may not even pay it no mind. But according to wave law, what they're going through shows is that Smack doesn't want to have another person be crossover level talent and end up taking the shine off of him.
You think, you saying that make me think, you think that's kind of what happened with him and Hitman Holla and certain guys like that?
Because okay.
Well, because you see how these guys became like mega stars within the culture and things like that, outside of the culture, I mean.
And what does that do?
We see that they don't have the best relationship right now.
When a person has all the leverage, what are they able to do?
They're able to make the decisions that need to be made. They're able to ask for what they want, all of that, yeah.
And if I gotta kowtow to their leverage, I might not like that if I'm proud. I might not like that if I'm arrogant. I might not like that if my mind and my mentality is not where it needs to be. So the jealousy of the artist is misplaced because the mentality is off. The friend who said it's okay that he talked about you crazy and I didn't say nothing, who said it was just business, his mentality is saying something specific. Wave law has 3 areas. No YouTube. Now, when you're growing the culture, you need to have the exposure to the widest audience possible, which is YouTube. You need to have a range of stages that are noticeable, that signify importance. Back in the day, we used to know what those are. You had Born Legacy, you had Gnome, Summer Madness, right? But all of a sudden now, you got cards with different names that nobody heard of. You got Traffic this, you got all this over here. You got app-based cards and all of this. What is it? We'll get to that. And then you got exposure to the widest audience. You have a range of stages that are recognizable. And then you have exit strategies for your elder statesmen, your vets. It has to come to the point where people recognize you've done all that you can here. You've done all that you can.
Like what's next?
What's next for you? What do you desire to do? I have I have people in my network that may be able to assist you in getting you to the next level. Because see, as a leader, if somebody comes to me and I help them out, I have to recognize when my effort stops and I can't take you to the next level. I gotta give you to someone else. But the person whose mentality is off will say, I don't want to tell them that.
I'm gonna keep them here.
Keep them here. Why? Because if you keep thinking that there's more that I could do for you, my bottom line still increases. I still get the benefits of you thinking you got to come back here.
That's deep.
One of the most powerful things you could do for someone is to let them know, I can't do anything else for you. We're going in a different direction. Everybody knows, and once again, have we forgotten what it feels like to go on an interview and they say, okay, come back for your 7th interview? Dog, you're playing with me. Come on, dog. 7 interviews?
Yeah, that's crazy.
We know what that feels like.
Yeah.
We know the mentality of somebody who would think that way. So I personally believe that when Surf got to the level where he was just on fire. Like he was on fire.
The biggest thing in the culture, period.
Biggest thing in the culture. The money was crazy. The face-offs were, it was everything, right?
He got his own league at this point now. He running,
People saying you got your own league. People saying, oh, this URL belongs.
Madness.
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. And then when face-offs is all about, I make more money than you. Every face-off is essentially the same. I make more money than you. I'm the reason that you're here. I can't lose. I already got my next thing lined up. It's the same thing.
And I'm the biggest shit out here.
I'm the biggest out here, right? So the person who's the face of the league is behind the scenes, right? Who technically is facilitating everything, but doesn't get the light for that. The artist does. This is like Vince McMahon being angry that Stone Cold Steve Austin is viewed as the top guy and not Vince McMahon. Now, if Vince McMahon starts to get jealous and arrogant and proud, he will look at that and say, I don't need another Stone Cold. I don't want another Stone Cold. Y'all will never become Stone Cold because I'm the guy.
So you think Smack don't want none of the battlers to be bigger than him?
It's not that I think it.
Okay.
It's what his hand shows. His hand shows. Why? You don't want to let nobody remember the sham guard is money.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the money. The money's not right. What do you mean? What do you mean? If you say, okay, these are the battlers that we're going to be working to become vets. We've chosen them. They're going to fly. They'll make or break it, right? We gave them the contract. We told them what it was going to be. Okay, these are the artists that we're going to work with. And then you go and you say, okay, I got a range of stages. If you do well, you'll be on this card. If you do well here, you'll be on Gnome. And then Summer Madness, if you do real crazy. After Summer Madness, okay, you'll be essentially vet level. You know what I'm saying? Because not everybody gets on Summer Madness.
Yeah.
Right?
And not everybody gets to that level where they're able to even do that, because if we look, just so I could interject a little bit, it's making me think about the whole Easy to Block Captain situation. Like, everything you're explaining to me is like, this guy comes, he makes his wave, he gets this crazy run, then he gets to all the top cards, and then his thing is, I'm not getting enough exposure. I need to be bigger. And what causes the separation is the fact that he's like, you know what? I'm breaking away from this contract, and I'm going to do what I think is best for my career to make me become the biggest thing. And Easy essentially becomes one of the biggest things. He battles Hitman Holla, 3+ million views, and just shows that on YouTube, he's a 1 million view battler.
But if he would have stayed on the contract.
On the app, we would have never seen this.
Oh, wow.
But he would still be a big name, I believe, of course.
But it would not be verifiable.
Yeah, he could, like, the vets could still play with him. Like, you an app nigga, stop it, da-da-da. He could still get hit with that, you know what I mean?
So, okay, see now, okay, we cooking now.
I'm listening.
We cooking now. So, if you have the YouTube, you cut that off at the knees, and you put people who are trying to show why they're valuable to sell a premium product. If you put a premium product in an area that is not typically sold, it won't sell as much as if you put it in the environment that it needs to be, right? So you're saying, okay, all you new guys, you're gonna be on the app. We're not gonna expose you to the world. Some people may not even recognize that you battle on URL because they don't buy the app. We're gonna put you on the app. We're gonna have you do all these app-based battles, app-based cards, and then we're never gonna tell you, unless your contract is done, we'll never tell you that we're not gonna move forward with you in developing you to the next level or anything like that. We're gonna allow you to believe that you could be on Summer Madness next year if you do the right battle. What does that do? Create more for the bottom line. So that's wave law.
You know what's crazy? What you saying that? You know, I had this, I looked at it myself and I was like, damn, Soufflé Soul and Foots, they get their first YouTube drop, right? It does 33,000 views. And I'm looking like, these guys are like the top, newest, dopest guys of their roster. And I'm like, if you're, in the culture, these guys. If you're an app subscriber, these guys. But for them to drop on YouTube and only do 33,000 views, to me is like, they don't have any interest, like they should. And
it's not because.
And I could be wrong. I'm just looking at it though, and I'm like, that's crazy. Clips and lewd drops, like, and that was battles that happened. That's almost at 500,000 views in 9 days.
The damage is done. Now, does that mean that they can't grow? Of course they can. Of course they can.
But some of their best work has already had happened, moments and things of that nature. He done battled Nitty. All of these crazy dope battles is on the app right now.
I can't share clips. I can't do highlights. I can't put anything on my page because it's behind a paywall. I can't get myself out there. And how do we know that this wave law is actually detrimental? Because the reason why Surfing Hitman are Surfing Hitman is because they were on free YouTube.
Yeah.
They got millions of views. People could go on YouTube and click and say, well, maybe let me see what this person is talking about. If you put them behind a paywall back then, it may be the same situation now. You can't do that. But when your mentality is, I'm not gonna go in the red for nobody, the money's not coming back.
Yeah, return on investment. I need that.
There's nothing wrong with. Okay. I love this. I love this conversation.
I need my money back. Like, I can't put all this money out, invest in all you guys, help all y'all make money and not get nothing back. What are we doing? This is business.
As a cultivator, as a leader, there are certain principles of leadership that you have to understand in order to grow. One of those is understanding that sometimes I have to go in the red in order for general growth to happen. Why? Because to some degree, I'm gonna wanna grow and somebody's gonna have to be willing to go in the red for me. Because Facebook spent 7 years before they had revenue and then started. There are certain places that didn't gross net positive results until time goes by. Battle rap doesn't have to be that. With proper management of the funds, you could actually get yourself to a place where certain battles can actually happen if you don't mismanage the money that you do receive. Now, I'm not going to go down to that route because that's more of a business conversation. Mm-hmm. And I have not been hired, nor do I desire to be hired for any consulting from them. This is the solution that they need. They need to change their mentality. Mm-hmm. They need to change their mentality
about dealing with the guys at the ground floor.
They need to respect the guys at the ground floor.
So these new classes, they should be like really treasured and very much more respected and put as a more important phase. And I'm saying that to say I was listening to 3 Letter Man, and I think he was having a conversation with Verb, and he was like, we looked at volume. Some people saying this was the worst volume ever. It wasn't a lot of great battles and things like that. And 3 was saying, you should have put Eunice on there. Some of these hungry guys who really are doing this shit to get lit, to get on it. So like they would have taken advantage of this opportunity, and we would have got quality, great battles that the fans could have really enjoyed. What you think about that?
The friend that we talked about.
Yeah.
The mentality of that friend. Mm-hmm. Sometimes life has to show them that the way that they're handling things is wrong. I believe certain situations like fights happening on stage, deals falling off, valued people going different areas. I think these are wake-up calls. Okay? Because the mentality has to change. Why do I keep saying mentality? Well, you gotta be gangster for something in this life. Something. Everybody's gangster for something in this life. And we all hold something as supreme in our life. Now, when you go to the root of the idea of gangster, when you go to the root, it's service. Service. One man serves what they view as supreme. Everybody serves what they view as supreme. One man serves neighborhood crip. Another man serves Paru. Some people serve the Lord Almighty. And a large majority of people in business, in all walks of life, serve only themselves. And when you serve yourself, you default to serving money. Smack can change his mind. I'm not sure if he really desires to. And what I'm giving to y'all is to hear him when he says, I'm a businessman. Because it was Uncle Smack before. I'm grateful that he's saying, I'm a businessman. And I hope people hear that. Because when it's friendo, all of this, nah, you're a businessman. You can use the image of you being my friend to make me believe a lie. That you actually care about my growth to go to the next level. You really don't. Right now, you just care about money. If that's what you care about, it's important for me to see that. Smack's focus right now isn't on showing proper leadership. It's showing his love of money. If it makes money, it makes sense. And that's dangerous from a mentality standpoint, because some of the most egregious moves that people have done in life has been under the banner of, it's just business. I gotta get my money, and if it makes money, it makes sense. And, you see what I'm saying?
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So when you see Silence of Protocol, when you see Wave Law, now the question becomes, how do you desire to operate? Who you serve will come with a mentality. A mentality is shown through how you operate. Some people are operating for personal gain, and others are operating for the betterment of others. This doesn't mean you got to do things for free, obviously, but at the same time, if I don't decide in this culture, I want to do what I do for the betterment of everybody else, you're going to end up doing things for self-serving reasons. And now I'm not going to address the friend who's talking greasy about my homie over here, because I'm gonna get paid if I do. If I just keep quiet. If I just act like a yes man, then I'll get what I need. They gotta fight it on their own. See, we don't get credit. We don't get credit for seeking the betterment of friends and people that we have ties to, because we're supposed to do that. But it does say everything if you step out on the ball and say, look, I don't even know Eunice. I don't know where he's from. I don't know what he's about. All I know is man recognized man. He don't need to be played. He has something to share, and he needs the widest audience. He needs to know those range of stages. And then if you really care about it, maybe you could hire somebody to say, hey, you do exit strategy, exit stuff, so that people recognize, hey, okay, you get into this and this. Your character's like this. Have you ever considered going this route? It's easily transferable, right? Some people, forgive me if I'm rambling.
No, you go ahead.
Right? Here's another truth. Some people are not meant to be in battle rap forever. Some people are not meant to go all the way to the main stage. Some people are not supposed to get their major payout through battle rap. And it's the leaders, the league owners, who are responsible for recognizing when that's not going to happen for them in their league. If I know this person is trying to get on Summer Madness and I know I'm never going to put them there, I need to stop trying to not tell him and have an honest conversation. Have an honest conversation with him. Why? Because if you don't, these people are going to be spending years of their life on a treadmill. Battle rap years is almost like dog years. You look up 7 years ago by in battle rap.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? It feels just like yesterday we were just watching, you know, Surf Hitman.
Yeah.
It feels like it was not that long ago.
Yeah, Lux and Hollow, you know, classic matchup, yeah. And years done went by.
Years.
I feel like I just started doing this shit yesterday. I'm already 10, 11 years in.
Time is not promised to no one, and that's the most valuable commodity that people have. And if you have the confidence to say, oh, I'm the leader, I run this, I run that. Okay, well, to whom much is given, much is required.
I agree.
Tell them you're done. We're only working with these people. We're only working with these people. Now, after this contract, we're not moving forward, so that they can leave. I've had conversations with battlers and let them know, I'm like, hey, I don't know if it's your dream to be a battle rapper, to be known as a battle rapper, but you're only here to figure out the things that are essential to your next step. I know when I first got on like a major stage, when I opened up for Mook Verb. Being on that stage that one time, it was so much information that I got in just how I performed, what I learned, all of that. It was just in that one moment. I didn't need to say, okay, I need to be on Gnome and this to get that. I had it off that one showing. And then I said, okay, instead of me trying to keep pushing the bill, like I said before, the money's right there, but I got these keys. Once I got the keys, man, I sat back. I said, let me just chill out. Let me lay my career down. I done got married. I got a kid on the way.
Congrats.
Thank you. I'm 33 now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
More fulfillment, and that's why I'm speaking, because I like knowing that I had an impact in someone's life, right? Everybody's looking for fulfillment,
yeah,
right? So if somebody's trying to stop you from accomplishing what you believe that you're called to, I have an issue with that. I have an issue with that because I wouldn't want nobody to do that to me. It's like, yo, like get out the way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Get out the way. If you don't want to help, okay, let me know.
A lot of people could say the point wasn't, Smack wasn't speaking to the up and coming guys. He's talking to the big guys, the Calicos, the Luxes, the Mooks, the guys who get that type of bread. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not talking to, you know, no disrespect to any of the guys in the top 6. You guys aren't making that type of money. You know what I'm saying? Like, so why would, there's conversations for the guys asking for that. Give me 60, 100, give me 40, shorty.
That's even more discouraging.
Okay.
That's even worse, because these are the people who have the leverage to gain the notoriety for battles, and you don't even show them the respect of, look, I understand, y'all have your price is your price.
He said that too.
He did. But understanding that you're gonna have other guys grow to that level and say, I'm not even gonna consider how I can make this work. Maybe I need to reevaluate everything. What I care about is I'm not going in the red for nobody. Nobody?
Is he wrong for this?
Is he wrong for saying that I'm not going in the red for nobody?
Yeah, is he wrong for that?
A man makes his decisions. I won't say that he's wrong. It sounds like he doesn't know what he sounds like. Remember, you reap what you sow. Do you hear yourself? You're not gonna go into the red for nobody, but then you're gonna require special partners and investors to come in to go in the red for you? How can you have that? How can you? The only way you could think that way is if you only think about things from a money standpoint. That's the only way. Because if I'm leading this league, it doesn't do me any good to only have one person be successful. You know what I'm saying? I'll need everyone to be successful, because if I help everybody become notable, then now in terms of competition, they have to step up too. And actually, I help the entire culture if I help my people do good. You see what I'm saying?
And Smack, I feel like, has done that.
He has.
At a high level, you know what I'm saying? He put everybody on.
He has. But see, if you don't desire to continue the course, that's another conversation you need to have. Not everybody who leads revolutions are great leaders. Sometimes the person who leads the revolution and calls the great thing, when they take over and become king or something like that, they are terrible. Sometimes you got to know, I did what I was supposed to do. I made my name. I'm always going to have something I'm supposed to do. But you know what Smack said? I'm never retiring. I'm never retiring. Okay. You don't want to retire. You also don't want to consider changing your ways and say, hey, look, not all business is good business. What does it profit a man to tout, I'm a businessman, if you are willing to partake in dishonorable business practices? It doesn't do you any good.
What is he doing that's dishonorable?
Well, I think it's in the same way like we talked about the friend. To know that you're trying to get somewhere and I was there, and I'm not gonna give you all the elements needed so that you can become crossover. Because believe it or not, Smack is in and of himself a crossover level talent. The fact that he could be on BET, the fact that he was selling DVDs and he himself is the thing that he's stopping. That's dishonorable. When you know where you came from and then you see somebody else who's on that same line trying to do something, make something of themselves the way that you did, to shut them out for money is to deny yourself. It's like mockery. It's a mockery. And I view that as dishonorable. When you say you businessman, put the man first. Have we forgot money don't make the man? Have we forgot it's the morals, values, and principles that make the man? Have we forgot it's not what you say, it's what you show? We know that. And I think it's time for everybody to examine themselves. Examine themselves. Look at this. And what would you do? What would you do if it was up to you and you saw another version of yourself coming up, and because somebody else is starting to get more shine, are you going to block them so that you can get your shine? Would you do that? That's a rhetorical question.
Yeah, I understand.
This is not saying that Smack is oh, he's evil or he's anything like this. I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
We've all been in situations where we may not have shown who we truly are. We may have fell to some foolishness and did something we ain't supposed to do. Right? And when a blessed man opposes himself, it's up to the people who know the truth and who are called to intervene to charge them to remember. I can't charge Smack to remember because I'm not close enough to charge him to remember. I can give a general, but he'll hear, I ain't paying. there's somebody that's close to him who's supposed to be doing this.
Yeah, you wasn't in the pit with him when he was coming up and making this shit happen.
Yeah, and I can acknowledge that. I can acknowledge that. This is ambassadorship. Mm-hmm. When I laid down my career and say I'm not battling no more, so I can talk to this. It's for reasons like this. Yeah. Vets can't talk like this to Smack about situations like this without potentially ruining their chances of going back. So I'll talk for them.
I mean, even myself in the position I'm at as media, I still have to deal with how people like us, you speaking on this, and how they're going to feel about us having this conversation and us putting it out and their image and how they, you know what I'm saying, how it can manipulate. When it's like, dog, this is my position. This is what I have to do. Whether, you know, it's going to be good outcome or bad outcome for me. Mm-hmm. This is the conversation for the people. I am, in a sense, a bridge from the industry, in a sense, to the actual people at home. So my job is to remain in that sense. But nonetheless, it's a hard line to play all the time.
It's a hard line to play all the time.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because, you know, you're going to get there and people going to feel some type of way. People not going to want to answer certain questions. I could go back and say, yo, these are the charges, Smack. It doesn't mean he's going to want to answer or talk about any of this. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. and sometimes that's how it has to be. Sometimes people just need to know that the message is out there, and whether they listen or they don't, it doesn't matter. I did what I was supposed. I got the message out.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's gonna change. That. Trust me. With that last time we spoke and we did the silencer protocol thing, we didn't know what it was gonna do.
I didn't even know that what we was even there to talk about. Like I said, you know what I'm saying? So yes.
And 2 years of straight confirmation.
The game done changed, and we're here now in 2024. You know, and I feel like, you know, the game is in a weird place, but I feel like it's also in a very promising place. I feel like it's a lot more independence. You know, Calico's throwing his own event. Arsenal just threw his own event. Easy to Block Captain's throwing his own event.
Yeah.
Verb's talking about what he's about to do. Hitman Holla's been doing his thing, throwing events, putting people on. You know what I'm saying? Multiple leagues are out here flourishing. Battle Academy just threw an event. Yeah. RBE is still doing what they're doing. So it's like, it's still, to me, it's like, it's a resurgence, and I feel like hunger is on its way back. That's what I truly feel. I feel like it's a wash in a sense. The game is washing itself, and the hunger is about to come back. I feel like that's where it's at, because I feel like what Smack did was a good thing.
You said it was a
good thing.
A good thing. Mm-hmm.
Because I felt like it put everybody on notice to be like, you know what, let's get on our shit.
There are benefits to it.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's why I said I'm grateful. I'm grateful that he said what he said, because when you're giving the message out, sometimes it can sound like, oh yeah, you just talking. But then you get situations where audio mysteriously gets dropped out there.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And people going on other things saying that it's like, okay, all right. And we're in a season where people need to show who they are.
Get you third round with a body, we still viewing you. You know that one saying, you froggy with nigga leap. And bags and bodies ready, your roster is all sheep. I got enough paper to really buy y'all street, cause you know if the house in the trenches, they all cheap.
Let me ask you this, you know, a lot of your charges in the past have been made to P. Like, this is the first time you really kind of went at Smack and said anything about him directly and things like that. What is your situation now, like with P? Like, well, you know what I'm saying? Do you have an issue with P? And you know what I'm saying? What's your situation with him now, as far as like what you see with the new artists? Because you mentioned in the audio how he spoke about certain people and things like that. But where are you at with P now?